your family comes to a point where they can send you to a boarding school in the United Kingdom. What was that like?
Well, it was crazy because I didn't speak any English pretty much.
Hmm.
I mean, I thought I spoke some English because I'd studied it, but when I got here, it turned out I couldn't understand anything and couldn't speak very much either. So it was a challenging adjustment for the first couple of years, and I was only, early teens, maybe even before, maybe I was even 11. I can never remember, 11, 13, something like that. So and I was basically on my own for at the school where you live and you go to school and no family. So it was a challenge for sure.
Hmm. So you have the story of this immigration to this place that now you call home and you love. What are your views on immigration?
Well, I think that a certain amount of immigration, particularly when it's calibrated to the needs of the host society, where you are able to decide who comes and in what form and how many and when and where, you're able to choose the people that enter your country and settle in it. I think it's good. I think it's important. I think it's, if you look at who's driving a lot of the innovation that happens in society, who's willing to take risks, because if you get the right people coming in, they're going to be the creme de la creme of their society that they're leaving. They are extremely driven, extremely determined, hardworking, willing to tolerate challenges and difficulties that most of the host population wouldn't do. If you look at the history of the United States, for example, how much of the greatness of America has been built by people coming in from somewhere else and, taking a risk, taking a chance, opening a little restaurant, starting a little business, all of that. I think it can be really healthy. But I also think that countries need borders. And this was a fairly uncontroversial statement until about 2 minutes ago, when some extreme leftist ideologues came along and suddenly decided that, we should, as we do in Britain, just allow people to get on a boat in France and just sail over, not even sailed, it's just like a rubber dinghy, go over the English Channel, land on our shores, not be checked for who they are, not have to get a visa, not have to get any permission or follow any of the rules that any legal immigrant has to follow, and then just dissipate into the general population with no sign of their arrival whatsoever, or increasingly be housed by the taxpayer in hotels and be given all the provisions. And likewise in the United States, I don't find it controversial that the southern border, over which millions of people pour into your country without being checked or without being stopped to make sure that they're the people that the American voting public wants in America. I don't think it's controversial to suggest that that's a problem. And the fact that I have to be an immigrant to be able to express that view without being called racist and whatever is another problem. We've got to be able to have sensible conversations about government policy, and immigration changes the nature of the country. It affects social cohesion, it affects the economy, it affects all levels of crime, all sorts of things of that nature that need to be looked at very carefully. And Brad, I say this all the time, and I think this is a really important point to make. Whatever my views of immigration is actually irrelevant. What I think is important is what are the views of the British public and the American public when it comes to this issue, and is what they voted for being delivered on the southern border and in the English Channel. And in my opinion, having observed what people voted for and how people express their preferences on this issue, the reason there's a lot of frustration around the issue of immigration in both our countries is that what the people are voting for is not what is being delivered. No one voted to have an open border in the UK or the US, and that is to a large extent what is happening. And that lack of democratic accountability, I think, is a bigger problem than the issue itself.
Thanks for watching that video. To see the full episode, check out the box over here or the link in the description.